Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to have you here. Glad to be here. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the chat, letting me know that I am coming across loud and clear, and I want to make sure that I don't waste 45 minutes congratulating myself again. I never thought that I did that, but evidently I must, so I don't want to do that. It's these YouTubes are all about you guys, not about me. It's about you guys and being able to make money. That's why we are here, all right? That's why we are here, to help you guys make money. So with all of that, hopefully everybody had a good long weekend. I did, but I'm not going to talk about it. All right, so let's talk about what's going on in the market. Now, one big thing has control. All right, one big thing that has come out of that statement that I really didn't like was about contra ETFs and after people got stopped out Friday AM. And the answer to that question, Charles, was actually in the last couple of videos that I did about contra ETFs. Hopefully you saw them, but if you're asking the question, that tells me you probably did not see them. One of the biggest things I said is that the 2-time and 3-time leverage contra ETFs are more of a trading vehicle, and it's probably not something that you want to hold on to a lot for more than a day or so, and be careful holding them overnight, which is why I spent a lot of time talking about non-leverage contra ETFs for that perspective, or for that specific reason. So on contra ETFs, the 2-time and the 3-time leverage, I'd be very careful with. They are trading mechanisms. And if you're not fully in total understanding on how to trade them, I wouldn't. All right. And number two, if you're going to hold them, remember, I said in my videos, as quickly as you can make money with those is as quickly as you can lose money on those. So Charles, hopefully I answered that question, but I already did answer that question when I put those videos out, specifically as you came at me the way that you did. So just putting that out there. I did respond to that. Triple and triple, double and triple contra ETFs, triple leverage contra ETFs are very, very, very scary unless you know how to get in and get out of those. How about one good cheap stock, says George? Well, we'll see. Be careful with that because the market's direction, George, affects 80% of the stocks in the market. If you're looking at what's going on right now, there's a lot of red. I'm not going to try to really put you on to a whole lot of bullish stocks right now if the market is going down. I will show some stocks that may have some bullish tendencies, but even with those, I'm going to tell you to be careful because the overall trend of the market is down. Now, the link that I set out today was talking about bottom fishing. I'm getting that question a lot. The market's going down a lot. Is it time to bottom fish? We're going to talk a little bit about that today, but I think tonight's video, the 6 p.m. video that's going to come out on YouTube tonight, is going to talk a lot more about when the right time is to bottom fish, if right now is the right time to bottom fish, and what to look for when it's time to bottom fish. Police SWAT said, selling all of my SQQQ today. Well, when I look at what's going on in the market with all of the red there, but I'm looking at today's activity, the market is up. The market was up this morning. It pulled back. It went to mix, and now it's back up. Why? Because there's still high volatility in the market, which is going to be a product of all the swings back and forth throughout the day. All right, so if I'm looking at that, if you're holding those triple and double leverage contra ETFs, don't be afraid to take profits off the table. And guess what? If you do close out of them and the market goes down the next day, you know, if it goes up today and goes down the next day, you can still get back into them probably at a lower price. All right. So for everyone who's asking or thinking about what to do with your contras, the market's up today, but not gangbuster. All right, you see all of the major indices are up, but not gangbusters. They're not running away, but it will affect your double and triple leverage contra ETFs. Thank you for that, Urad. Thank you, Howard. I appreciate that. Roger says, not the whole roof, but enough that I got to redo. Is that talking? Is he talking to Joey? I think he is. Mark is here. Good. All right. So with that, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about whatever I'm talking about. I do want to get you into what's going on in the market today. All right. Everybody good with that? Everybody good with that? All right. With that, let's get into some news. What news is moving the market? And as I do that, still oil, crude oil mix, demand destruction, fears compete with OPEC. OPEC is cutting. All right, so we talk about being dependent on anybody, being dependent on the OPEC countries to determine how much oil they're going to release or not release is a pain in the butt. You know what that is? That's the wrong one. Where's the one? That's what it is. That's the right one. It's like garbage. It's like poopy. When we could drill our own oil, but that's another story for another time. I still think that the oil story is still, it is what it is. We don't have a lot of it, and people are going to need it. So going along with that, JP Morgan does say, now is the time to pull the trigger on energy stocks. And here's two names. Valero is in there and SM is in there. We'll take a look at that as well. I still think that the oil play is a good longer-term play. But right now, it's still going down. Oil is still below $100 a barrel. It's still a tough play to take long right now. But I think if you just hold on, Snoopy, hold on, it's going to pay off. All right. CVS to buy home health giant Signify Health for about $8 billion. One of my videos that I just put out recently were recession-proof stocks in ETF. And one of the areas that is recession-proof is the health sector, the health industry, the health sector. And as I keep that in mind, CVS, this could be a good deal for them. Push the stock's price higher. We'll take a look at it. They're going to buy it for $30.50 per share in cash. The deal marks a big push by CVS into the in-home healthcare space. And that's where my wife works, actually, as a respiratory therapist. She is an in-home respiratory therapist, so it goes from patient's house to help them with their, CPAPs and ventilators and all that kind of stuff. It is a big business. It's a big business, and CVS is putting their hands in that pot. Now, we all know about FANG stocks, but how many of you have seen this story about Matana is the new FANG? A type of one in the room, if you've seen that story, that there's another slew of stocks that are out there in the tech sector that now are better or the new representation of the tech stocks rather than FANG. Type of one, if you've heard that. Type of two, if you have not. Type of two, if you have not. And we're going to take a look at these stocks today. Two stocks were removed from the list from the FANG, and that was Meta and Netflix. And we added a couple of more. We added NVIDIA and Tesla. I think those were a lot of people are saying no. Interesting. So we're going to take a look at these. This is going to be the new broad representation of the big tech stocks moving away from FANG. A lot of people are saying no. Excellent. So I'm bringing something new to the table. Struggles Real says, I heard of Manta, but not Mentana. Who does it represent? So M for Microsoft, A for Apple, T for Tesla, A for Apple, N for NVIDIA, and A for Google or Amazon. Sorry, I missed it. Did I miss that? I did. Yeah, or Alphabet.
Apple twice.
No, Alphabet. I said one is Apple, one is Amazon, and one is Alphabet. Those represent the three A's. Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet, which is represented by Google. All right, so big name tech stocks are going to be the new representation of the tech stocks, the major tech stocks moving away from FANG. So we're going to take a look at those. How about this? Ford and Rivian, and this is not good news, Ford and Rivian recalled some EVs. Ooh, that's not a good thing. All right, that's not a good thing. Especially, I am still big on the EVs from the purpose of the money that they can make for you. I still think that the market should have dictated the move of EVs rather than the government. But whether good, bad, or indifferent, Ford and Rivian are going to feel the effect. And the last story that I have for you today, I want to know how does Google differ from Google L? Somebody answer that question, 'cause I'm not 100% sure. So I don't answer that question and sound like a total idiot. Many of you probably think I'm an idiot, right, Joey? Wow, you didn't say anything. That's the second time today you did that.
Crickets.
That's the there you go. That's the second time today you did that. Actually, let's do this. What is the difference between between GOOG and GOOGL? How about we Google it? What is the difference between the two? Google, one is Class A shares, which gives voting rights. The only difference is that GOOGL stock provides voting power. GOOG does not. All right, there you go, Roger. All right, so if you want to vote in what goes on in Google, you need the L. But if you own GOOG stock, then you have no vote at all. However, both share classes technically make you entitled to an equal amount of the company's earnings. One gives you voting. There you go. And I hate you, Joey, because you were supposed to come to my back. I thought you was my boy. You were supposed to come to my back and say, "Nah, man, you're not an idiot." But for you, this is what I say for you. I say boo to you. All right. So good question. I never really looked it up because I never really cared. They both give me shares of the company, but Google L or GOOGL gives you voting rights. All right, Roger says, thanks for the definition. I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to be there for you. Even when your best friends like Joey are not there for you. That's the way I'm going to say it. Even when your good friends Joey are not there for you, at least I'm going to be there for you, Roger. All right, let's get into this software. Let's talk about some of these stocks. All right, let's go talk about some of these stocks. Let's go to the big news. Here we go. We'll start off with there. Here's the stocks that made my news today. Valero, let's go put this auto fit. SM Energy and Valero were the two stocks that the JP Morgan was talking about. And look at that on our VectorVest scaling of VST. Those are the two top stocks in here. Ford and Rivian are in my list. Lithium. Oh, I didn't get to my last story. There's my last story. We don't have enough lithium globally to meet EV targets. That's big news. How many of you knew that? Type a 1 in the room. How many of you did not know that? Type a 2 in the room. As much videos as I've done, much as research as I've done on EVs, this is big. This is big news right here. And a lot of people are saying one, they did know. All right, but I'm bringing it to the table nonetheless. That's a huge story. A lot of twos are coming up in here as well. That's a big story. So in my listing of stocks, I do have lithium overall. But if you've noticed, before I go look at all of the stocks, if you looked at the stock graph on lithium, and let's go put this like on a 6-month graph, with the advent of more people being interested in EVs, look at that. It's recently pulled off, but from over the last 6 months, let's go put this in the last year. Over the last year, though, it's down. But it has had a nice little run up. Let's go put a freehand line. There's my uptrend. Make that a little darker. There's my uptrend. And most recently, prior to the story, we broke down below that trend line. All right, so that's going to be big story. What do I think about Nikola? I still think I like the EVs. And right now, Manny, I'm not real big on hydrogen yet. I don't know the safety factor behind hydrogen just quite yet, Manny. That's the answer that I'm going to give you. All right, John, we're going to talk about the market looking for a bottom in a second. Mark says, take a long shot with AWLIF could bring lithium mining to Nevada. Is that NV? Is that what you're saying, Mark? And you know something? The more mining we get to help, man, we're going to need it. It looks like we're definitely going to need it. Electric cars are still traffic. The whole EV market being the savior is dumb. Better public transportation and smaller vehicles needed. You know, to say that it's the savior, and I'm not one to say that EVs are the savior. I still think that we're moving more towards a cleaner energy alternative. All right, there's a couple of things. Where do we get the electricity? The majority of our electricity still comes from coal. All right, dirty energy to bring on clean energy. So I do know that. The only reason why I spend as much time on EVs is for the opportunity for you guys to make money in these stocks. That's all that I'm really worried about. All right. How long it takes for us to get to that point, don't know. Will it definitely overcome combustion engines? Probably never. The more cleaner we go, I still think combustion engines are going to always have a spot in our ecosystem. I just think that it's going to be that way. So I put that out there, and never once have you ever heard me say that it's going to be the savior. All I like it is the opportunity to help you guys make money. I am getting into the right EVs at the right time to make that money is all I'm all about. And by the way, Mark, your birthday was yesterday. Was it yesterday, Mark? Mark Norton, your birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mark Norton. Happy birthday to you. All right, there you go. He's a big supporter of the YouTube channel, so I want to say happy birthday. And I did take an opportunity to. And for anybody out there who's going to complain about me saying happy birthday, get over it. All right, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. All right, man, you turned 60. I'm 5 years off of that. 5 years off of that. Roger says there's plenty of lithium available, but extraction is the problem. Much of it can be recovered only via environmentally unfriendly means. Thank you for that, Roger. So the story says that we don't have enough lithium, but Roger says that we have it, but it's a tough way to mine it. All right, so that's very, very interesting to keep in mind. John says, Glenn, you're the most knowledgeable and most realistic on EVs versus gas. I agree with the idea of alternative energy is the key, but maybe not all electric fired. I'm all about trying to keep it real. I don't want to pump nothing. I don't want to dump nothing. I just want to give you the information that you need. All right, so as I look at lithium, a little bit of a pullback right now. We'll keep our eyes on it, but it was a hot commodity for a little while coming off of this low. Gotta love it. sat in a channel, broke out, hit a new 6-month high, but now pulling back. We do not have the lithium the Chinese do. So, Carl, I'm going to, should I do this? I'm going to do this real quick. Biggest lithium suppliers. Let's do that. Gotta love Google. Biggest lithium providers. All right. Australia, China. We're not in the top 5. Well, this is 2019. Here's a story. I'm curious. I don't want to see all. I just want to see 2019. Hush up. I want to see that. I'm gonna do some follow-up on that. So you say China does. I know that we got some lithium as well, but I wanted to see where we sat in that list. Good afternoon, Eton. I wanted to see where we sat in that list. Nonetheless, I know we got some. All right, I know we got some. All right, so that was the lithium graph. Let's go look at the other ones. Ford, CVS, oil. Again, OPEC said they're going to cut back on how much oil they're pushing out, which just sucks. And we then dipped into our oil reserves. And when it gets to something bad this winter, we're going to be kind of screwed if we got to go back into the reserves if we don't have them. All right, so we'll see what happens. Australia is the largest lithium producer, accounting for nearly half of the global production. Well, Australia is one of our friends, right, Andrea? So there we go. So Carl says we do not have the lithium the Chinese do, but Australia, from Andrea, is saying is the world's largest lithium producer. I'll take that. And if they're friends with us, they'll help us, hopefully. Unless they want to grab us by the short hairs for whatever reason, don't know why. But thank you for that, Andrea. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate it. And that's the reason why I'm glad I got as many people here as I do to help me out when I get into a bind. Roger says lithium is the 33rd most common element with that weight, but is widely distributed and difficult to mine, much like flour, gold, not economical to mine. All right, let's go look at the rest of the stocks that I have on my list as big news for this week. All right, SM Energy stocks. All right, this was a JP Morgan story. Look at that. Petroleum moving up right now, moving sideways right at the level of support of 45.59. That's SM. Let's go see if the 3 can get back above the 8. Looking at Valero, same kind of scenario, pulled back, but would like to see the 3 go above the 8. But looking over the last 3 months, though, it's hitting lower. It's going lower. Chile is number 2. China is number 3. Argentina. Thank you for that, Robert. I appreciate it. All right. And so Australia is number 1. China is number 3. All right. And are we on good terms with Chile? I hope so. So Austria and Chile, we could be, chilling. How about nuclear energy? I love nuclear energy. And I think uranium is showing that the interest in uranium, the number 1 industry in the VectorVest software, is a good play to go after clean energy. All right. But again, safety factors go there as well. We don't need a Chernobyl. We don't need another 3 Mile Island. We've had some run-ins with safety when it comes down to nuclear energy, but I think a lot more nuclear energy plants running and operating well than not. All right, so that's a good thing. Lithium could go up to $50. Could. I'm still of the mindset that lithium has good upside potential. I think uranium has good upside potential, and both of them from the standpoint of clean energy. Clean energy looks at solar, looks at wind, there's a lot of things included in the whole package for clean energy. All right, so how about a flux capacitor? No, that's not happening. That's probably not happening. And you need a what's that car? What's the car? What's DeLorean? You need a DeLorean to have that flux capacitor. Ammonia is one of the future green fuels. Chris, I have not done any research on that at all. All right. Now, Ford and Rivian are probably going to take a hit, especially if they've got recalls coming in. Keep your eyes on Ford, probably more to the downside. And CVS, maybe this was a move to bring them back to the grandeur, air quotes, where they once were in regards to picking up or putting their hands into that whole in-home medical space. All right, nothing wrong with a big company trying to spread their hands out in everything that they can. All right, Chile, is Chile still friendly? They just rejected a socialist constitution recently, but who knows what's next? I don't know. All right. So please name a company leading in the nuclear energy. LEU, Ulrich, those are 2 good companies. UEC, those are 3 companies right there in the uranium space. And URA is an ETF for the uranium space if you want to just take one. I saw a DeLorean with a custom tag, 88 miles per hour. DeLorean's still around. All right, so that's CVS. This oil, again, oil is just a tough play. I just still say that long term it's going to be a way to go. But if you keep looking at it, you keep saying, Glenn, you're an idiot. And I keep saying, hold your drawers because it's going to come back. All right, and Rivian, interesting with the Rivian story with Ford. They got an update today. This wasn't an earnings play. They got an update today. I don't know what else pushed them higher today. All I found was the news about the recall, both on Rivian and Ford. But interesting that the 3.8 just crossed on a big open candle today. Keep your eyes on that. Ford, on the other hand, was already still pulling down. All right, so those are the stocks that made my big stories today. Next, let's talk about one other thing. All right, let's talk about one other thing. When I sent out the link about, is it time for bottom fishing? For those of you, for those of you who are brand new to the VectorVest system, we have 2 indicators that help us to know when the market is looking for a bottom. All right, 2 indicators. One is the buy to sell ratio, which looks at the overall health of the market. It is not cast on a scale between 0 and 2, but when that indicator, the BSR, is at or below the value of 0.20, the market is looking for a bottom. Where are we at now? 0.31. This tells me that currently we still have a little bit more downside to the market. The second indicator is the MTI, or market timing indicator. It is cast on that scale between 0 and 2. And when the MTI gets to a level of 0.60, the market is starting to look for a bottom. So neither one of these indicators are quite telling me that the market is looking for a bottom yet. But if you are a subscriber, there's ways to know when the bottom has happened And I think that tonight's video, the 6 p.m. video, I'm going to give you some indications of what to look for within the VectorVest system to tell you when the market is bottom and when it's going to be time to go bottom fishing. So that's going to be tonight's video. But I wanted to bring to your attention today, because a lot of people have been asking, is it time after all of this red, the market's going down, hey, it's got to go back up. Is it time for bottom fishing? And the answer is, hold your drawers. I don't know what I got a fascination with drawers today, but hold your drawers. It's not time just quite yet. Not quite yet. And I'm going to give you in tonight's video what to look for in regards to looking for a market bottom. All right, earnings this week. Let's talk about our indices. What's going on with the markets today? We look at the VIX. VIX is still above the value of 20, and it's up today. That's what's going to help to show the big swings throughout the day. Volatility is high, and that normally happens when the market wants to try to figure out which way it wants to go, or when the market's going down and the fear factor goes up. People are getting more fearful in the market, so this is a time when volatility will increase. The IWM, the lower dollar stocks, people are getting out of it, and the UVIXI is up today. Let's go to the graphs. Here's all of our major indices shown in real time right now. All right, in real time right now, there's the VectorVest composite. Look at that. We jumped up this morning, and after that we fell, found a level of support. That level that we jumped up to this morning on the composite was 54.52, and we have not been able to break through it. The Dow did the same thing. Nicely up this morning, pulled back, found a level of resistance at 31,452. Hasn't been able to break through it. The Spider's doing the same thing. New high from this morning, not able to break through it. And the Qs. So all of the major indices jumped up this morning, pulled back, and none of the indices were able to break through their morning sessions of resistance. The market still has downside. Again, according to our buy to sell ratio and MTI, I can still say that the market has not found a bottom as of yet. Has not found a bottom as of yet. Now, Bill, I've seen stories on a forever battery. I'm just not sure what I think about it yet. Until I can get some real solid information on it, I won't talk about it just quite yet. But I've seen the stories about it. I've definitely seen the stories about it. Thank you for that, though. All right, so that's all of the major indices real time today as we are speaking. None of them have been able to break above their levels of resistance. All right, that just goes to show that the market is just still down. We're still lower than we were from this morning. All of the major indices are down, but with the high level of volatility, anything can happen before the day is done. Who's to say that we now go into a big push to the upside by the end of the day? Nothing says that it can't. All right, but as of right now, that's where we stand. All right, let's go look at my earnings this week. Not a lot, because we're coming towards this August. We have September, October, November. No, we got still September. Not to the end of this month will be the end of the third quarter, and then we'll start with fourth quarter. But these are all of the main stocks that I got coming out this week. Man, look at relative safety. Which stocks have the highest probability of beating earnings? Korn Ferry, Kroger, National Beverage. The rest of them have relative safeties below 1. We'll see what goes on with them. All right. Fastest industries. Let's go see what the fastest industries are right now. Let's go to the unit search. Let's go to the Delta Searches Industries. And I've created a search specifically for these live streams to see what stocks or what industries are on the rise. And let's go put this on the top 10. Let's run it again. And what I'm looking for is what were the deltas on relative timing 10 days ago. All right, ETF shorts, and boom, look at the last 10 days. So that's where the money's going. That's where we need to concentrate, is on ETF shorts. The next one is chemical fertilizers. All right, chemical fertilizers had an RT delta of 10% up in the last 10 days, and look at that move up. So we've got, besides ETF shorts, look at all of this petroleum on the rise. Folks, I'm telling you, just, you got to keep your eyes on them, but they are pulling back right now. They are all pulling back, but coming to the top of the list as being mentioned. But this is where the tough part of it is. Petroleum International Integrated is the only thing that's jumped over from the last 10 days and moved up over the last 10 days. All right, energy coal, wow, big fall for them. Transportation ship, a little up move today. But look at that. ETF shorts is where you need to be. And the system is bringing that to your attention. So let's do this. Let's view the stocks in that industry group. And let's take the top 5. All right, what are these sorted by? Let me go see what the average volume is. Yeah, let's go sort this list by average. There's 92 in there. Let's go sort this by average volume. All right, and let's go take these top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right click, add to watch list. Let's go put it into my watch list for this week. All right, those are my top 5 that I'm looking at as far as this top industries, fastest industries, ETF shorts. Here's our top 5. They're all up today. All right, and we'll see how they compare to next week. Industry ETFs, where's the money going today? Robert says Chile traditionally has been one of the United States' closest partners in Latin America due to the country's common commitments to democracy, human rights, and free trade. And if that's the case, we already are cool with Australia. This could help us with our lithium problem these are the top two producers of lithium. That could help us with our lithium issue. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, so where's the money going today? Let's go see. Sort this. Real estate, utilities, oil, healthcare. All right, I still think that healthcare is one of the recession-proof industries to get into, as well as utilities. If you've watched the video that I put out about recession-proof stocks and ETFs. Joey, did you put that link up in there for them? That was a good video in preparing you and protecting your portfolio, was to look at recession-proof stocks and ETFs. 2 of those industries are at the top of the list, which is utilities and healthcare. All right, where's the money? Not going today. Natural gas. Look at that. I still hold Boyle. All right, big hit to the downside today. Natural gas is so volatile. Up big one day, down big the next day, back and forth, back and forth. If you don't have the stomach to ride the volatility that natural gas provides as an investment, you step away from that. Chile elected a socialist president recent. Thank you, Lee. All right, so where to stay away from? You stay away from natural gas today. All right, let's go to my speculative plays. I got no new speculative plays for you today. All right, I got it's from when the market moving the way that it is, I got no new speculative plays, and I think that's a safe call. You agree with that? Type of 1 if you agree with staying away from some of the speculative plays right now. Type of 1, type of 2 if you really still want some speculative plays. All right. SQM is Chile, lithium, and fertilizers. Thank you, Eton. All right. I'm just curious to know, because if you do want some speculative plays, I got some for you. I still have some for you, just not from this one, not from this list. A lot of people are agreeing with that. But for those who are looking for some speculative plays, I still got some, just not from this watch list. All right. What are my big movers today? Stocks that are up at least 10%. All right, where's my stocks that are up at least 10%? Look at this. Let's go take a look. These are probably all news-driven, but look at how much they are all up today. Look at this one. Was up over 10%, pulled back a lot. That's definitely a lot of profit taking. Let's go see. Ooh, that looks like it got bought. That looks like it went up because it got bought. Lieutenant Day, and I think they bought that stock. All right, and let's go to the next one. IC. Again, drug biomedical, these are stocks that I do provide for you on a weekly basis, especially if it's phase 3 stuff. Big open candle, little wick at the top, little wick at the bottom on big volume. Sure that was some phase 3 news, I'm assuming. All right, XLO, another drug biomedical. The 3 and the 8 hadn't crossed, big up wick, a lot of selling pressure, which means that was a lot of profit taking based off of some news, most likely. Nutex, health, the 3 and the 8 almost crossed. Again, healthcare, outpatient home care. A lot of wick at the top, some selling pressure, but keep in mind, these are all stocks that are up over 10% today, and a lot of them are giving back the money that they've made. That's a lot of pullback as well. The reason why I show these, because people always bring to the table, hey, this stock is up a lot. Hey, let's go take a look at it. That's the purpose of looking at that. All right, that's the purpose of looking at that. All right, so now for those of you who are looking for some speculative plays, here's my weekly biotech stocks. All right, this is the place that I put them. These are all phase 3 news related behind them. Some of them are up, but some of them are down. But there's phase 3 news behind them. All I want you to do, folks, is keep your eyes on these stocks. That's all that I want you to do. Lower dollar stocks for the most part that have a phase 3 catalyst that is due either soon or really soon. That's the reason why I tell you to keep your eyes on these. All right. These are my speculative plays, but definitely from the biotech sector. Day trades. What should I be looking at for day trades? And I think this is more in tune to what you guys need to see. I've got 5 contra ETFs and I've got 5 stocks to sell short. All right, if I go support or sort this by percentage price change, you'll notice that all my 5 contras are all going up today. And those of you are probably saying, well, is it still okay to buy contras? What I'm going to tell you from that perspective is that I still think that we've got some downside left in the market. All right, what the heck just happened? Right-click, view the stock graph. There we go. I still think that we've got some downside left in the market. How much? Not a lot. So if you do take advantage, and I want to put it out there now, if you do take advantage of these contras, I'm going to tell you to be nimble. Nimble enough that if this was Friday, for those of you, if you were in this on Friday, would you have gotten out on Friday? Actually, you could have. The stock's price fell enough that it fell through that 3 and 8 exponential moving average. That wasn't Friday. This is Tuesday. We'll close Monday. This was Friday. This was Thursday. All right. And what did I tell you? If you get out and you don't let it all go, give all the money away, the next day you could have been back in it. That would have been on Friday, and you got followed through again today on Tuesday. So I like that if I'm going to trade the leverage contra ETFs, I look at an end of day basis. If the stock closes below the 3 exponential moving average, that's probably a good time to get out. Look at that follow through. And then when do I get back in? When it goes back above the 3 and the 8 cross. That would have been a good opportunity. For everybody who's asking me how to effectively trade those contra ETFs, does that make sense to you? Type a 1 in the room if that makes sense. Type a 2 in the room if it doesn't make sense. All right. I'm looking at an end of day basis. If the ETF, contra ETF, falls below the 3, that's a good way to get out of the stock quick. Look at the follow through the next day. When to get back in, when the 3 crosses back above the 8, boom, you're in. You're riding it. That day you would have gotten out. You still would have taken a profit. The next day, no, you would have gotten out because it fell below the 3 and the 8. But notice that the 3 and the 8 never crossed. You could have stayed in. This, looking at the 3 and the 8, keeps you from getting freaked out on this day. All right, this, looking at the 3 and the 8 end of day rather than looking at the stock's candlestick movement, keeps you from freaking out. All right, I see a lot of 1s come through. So Alan and whoever else said no, Bill, all I'm saying is from the standpoint of an end of day perspective, look at the 3 and the 8 exponential moving averages as a way to get out of the stock. If you want to get out of the stock even faster, look for the stock's price to fall below the 3 instead of waiting for the 3-8 to cross. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. I've given you 2 opportunities to manage your leverage contra ETFs. All right, 2 different ways right there. Whether the stock's price falls below the 3 end of day, you get out. And then look at the price the next day. You could have gotten back in and you still would have been in. All right. What else is in here? So LABD. Wow, look at FANG D. Look at NRGD. That one, I probably wouldn't take as much. I got these other ones that look a lot better. That I would take. And then on the other side of that, for those people who feel comfortable shorting stocks, I've got 5 short stocks for you as well. Let's view the stock graphs on those. Put these on a 1 month. We want these stocks to go down. Boom! Either buying puts or selling these short. Great opportunities right there. All of those. Look at the 3 and the 8s. Ooh, interesting. Not here. I wouldn't have taken that as a short because the stock's price has been going up. What else is in here? Wow. Pixie. Shift Pixie looks poopy too. Shift Pixie looks poopy. All right, so those are my picks for you from a day trade pick. I think that that's a smart place to be, would be in either contra ETFs or in stocks to sell short. I'm going to go back to the graphs real quick, and I'm going to bring up the market timing graph. I'm going to put this on a 3-month graph. And again, there's the market, folks. All right, and a lot of people, again, are asking, is it time? Well, let's do this. What do we look at a parameter? Let's go technical analysis, and let's go put on support and resistance. The same thing that we look at to find if a stock is hitting a level of support or resistance, we could do it on the market. And there's my level of support. Look at that. I got a level of support. Let's take off some of these lines. I got a level of support on the VectorVest composite at a value of 53.46. We have some downside, at least to that level. Does everybody see that? Type a 1 in the room if you see that. You're asking if we've got more downside. You're asking if we've got an opportunity to still make money to the downside with contra ETFs. Thank you, Mark, for contra ETFs. I still think that we do have some more downside. And on the VectorVest composite to the value of $53.46, we do have some downside. All right. So, and again, tonight's video is going to go into a lot more detail of how the VectorVest system can help to time a bottom. Not only that, what to look for before you take advantage of a bottom. All right, let's go look at my big news picks from last week. Let's go back last week, to the 30th. All right, so these were my big news picks from last week. Let's do a quick test. How did they work out? Boyle, I'm in it. I'm feeling the hurt. I personally own Boyle because of the natural gas being cut off by Russia. But I'm going to have to ride that hurt because that story's not changing anytime soon. Walmart, Amazon, USO, oil's getting hurt. Retail getting hurt. That should have been a bearish play anyway. I talked about that last week. My fastest moving industries from last week. We went through that process of looking at the industries by RT. Let's go see what they did for this week. Well, only 2 stocks went up. That makes sense because since that time, the market's been going down, right? Since that time, the market's going down. SQM, though, that Chilean company, is up 2.8%, but all the other companies that I had from that perspective didn't work out so well. My speculative plays from last week, let's go see UEC. Uranium was in there. Cameco is in there. Clean energy, a lot of clean energy. A shipping company, DHT, let's go see what they look like over the week. Wow, look at that. They made money. All right, those are my speculative plays from last week. I didn't come up with speculative plays for you this week, right? Based upon what's going on in the market. But look at that. My speculative plays made money, whereas the market went down. I love bringing those plays to you, but if the market just keeps going down, I'm going to be very careful about bringing them to you at this time. And my biotech stocks from last week, again, I didn't put any in here. I screwed that up. My featured watch list today is those new listing of stocks. The Montana, who is it? Mantana. Yeah, Montana. Here they are. The new FANG stocks. I'm going to keep that here. Here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, MATANA. Yep, 6 stocks. And we're going to keep out. These are the new representation of the tech market. All right, Tesla, Google, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. We're going to watch those on a weekly basis to see what they do. All right, Joey, put me on my end screen. I'm done. All right, I didn't spend 45 minutes talking about myself. I didn't spend a lot of time talking about anything, but just talking about what's going on tomorrow. Joey! Sigh. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can do this by myself. I did it all by myself. I didn't need your help, Joey. Go back to sleep. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you guys for being here today. We covered a lot of material. We talked about if the market's looking for a bottom. We talked about things that are going on in the market. I've given you some stocks to take a look at. I think I set up a good listing of 5 contra ETFs to keep your eyes on and 5 stocks to pay attention to play to the downside. Some speculative plays, a lot of different things. A lot of different things, all right? And I'm right about the time I wanted to be, about the 12:45. Folks, how many likes did we get? 41? It's all right. You know me, I like to try to get 100 likes per video if I can. But if you didn't feel entitled or if you didn't feel like doing it, you ain't got to. All right? I just try very hard to bring useful information to the table for you every single live stream, folks. I'm not about the crazy Eddie about, hey, buy this stock. I'm not going to do that. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. All right. So before you leave, hit the like button if you can. If you're brand new to the channel, you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted. With that, folks, I got to go. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Shalom. Shalom, bom dia, namaste, and yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.